Martyna.
Okay, so a big question mark. Basically, my presentation isn't going to be something like rocket science for you. I decided to go back to basics because it's easy to get tangled up in all the tools and everything that you showed me is amazing. But we actually decided that when we were launching our new brand, we wanted to not make the same mistake we made for the previous year by not collecting data. I personally really like numbers, and I was responsible for going through them and taking notes. And it's something, it's really simple. So what we do is when we were doing the product launch, we collected data while launching, and also when we do daily care, meaning when you go through your listings every day, you check whether you have 5 stars, whether you have a negative review on the first page, and so on and so forth. When we would usually do that, we would just fix the problem straight away rather than noting it down. And actually what we found by taking these numbers down from the first product page, I'll later show the spreadsheet so you can actually see that it does make sense. I then compared the sales numbers from business reports. That's also something that is very important when comparing numbers, is that when you take the number of sales from business reports, you can actually compare them to the data, whether you had a negative review or you lost the buy box, or you have no stars or less less than 3.5. Because previously we would take numbers from the payment report, and actually it has a time lag. Probably it's something obvious for you, but we only actually recently found out that then you can actually draw conclusions because the numbers match up to the time this actually happens. I will explain why this time lag is actually relevant, because when you decide to make a change in your pricing strategy, you will actually see that the day you made the change is visible in the numbers. And if you would compare it to the wrong numbers from sales and payments that are noted down and reported after a certain time, then you can't draw the right conclusions whether this decision or action you made, or was it the negative review, whether it was actually influencing sales. So we just wanted to make it more likely to make the right decision and to see if it actually is represented in numbers. I also use ad reports. Obviously you can do extensive analysis, but we don't have time for that. But we would also compare the number of sales and the number of sales that we get from ads to see what is the percentage of it. Does it make sense? Are they working or not? And also we would take notes with keyword ranking. I know there are tools for that to see where you ranked and so on, like AMZ Tracker, what we mentioned previously. But the reason why we decided to note it down manually is because we were using so many tools for giveaways, rankings, that we got lost in action, like where are the numbers coming from? Also, like on the side note, when we were calculating all the sales and all the numbers, what's also important is, oh God, I lost my thought. Giveaways, tracking giveaways and organic sales. Like I say, you probably know all this, but hopefully at least someone will learn something new from it. But to track it down, when you download, this is when you actually use payment reports, because in the payment reports you can actually perfectly filter out what products were sold through giveaways, which ones were used with coupons, which ones were the ones that you did a discount 30%, 20%, 10%. So it's a perfect place to actually measure later on, so you don't get excited that, oh, your sales are going through the ceiling, and in fact 90% of them were giveaways or discounts. So that's another thing. We would actually take notes from the payment report, because it's a beautiful place to actually perfectly see the breakdown of what is a giveaway and so on and so forth. Now I will just actually show you the files. The first one, it's just Excel, so it's no crazy tool. Sorry, it's not fancy, it's just cells. I don't know if you can see this properly. Sorry. Okay, can
zoom.
Yeah, 150. Yeah. Okay, this is a very young company, so the numbers obviously are not
Maybe a little
bigger.
Go to 200%. even if you have to switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what we note down every day, someone notes down the BSR, the number of reviews, the first page negative reviews, any changes. Because obviously at the beginning we try to have some nice photos and we just wait until someone reports and then we put the correct photos in, obviously. So, but this is something that we also note down, especially since I forgot to mention that our team consists of 10 people. So also when managing the company, and if someone takes over for someone else, we have to have a place where it is all noted down. Otherwise, if it's a one-man job, then you know you did fix it, but with a group it's different. So this is where we would actually note down everything. So when later on we would download the sales report and we would see a drop in sales, it was amazing that the correlation you could see with the first page negative reviews, it was like a perfect match that they dropped. Even when we would see rating dropped beneath 3.8, meaning that you'd no longer have a 4-star visible, if I'm correct, that also influences sales straight away. So another beautiful correlation. And so the amount of conclusions we could draw just from writing these numbers down, because if you do it on a day-to-day basis, later on, and if you have more than 5 products, you don't remember when you had negative reviews, when you had a hijacker, when you had a hazmat issue, you know, all the reasons for the listing not being perfect. So this is the first spreadsheet. It's just, and we note down how many giveaways we did on that day, and then obviously some nice charts for people that like charts and and comparing them. The next one I'm going to go through is, it's not this one, sorry. One moment. Okay, it's this one. Sorry about that. Okay, like I mentioned also, keyword ranking, you can actually do that through tools, but we would monitor this weekly. And this is a nice week. We could see the perfect difference. Whoops, sorry. I had to erase for reasons why I'm not showing the keywords we have. But the dynamic is amazing, and the correlation between the numbers of sales once you're on the first page, and also monitoring when you should actually start re-ranking your keywords. Noting it down is actually also extremely important, because you can see that if it's dropping slowly, then you know you have time to react, to re-rank. But if it drops suddenly, then you just have to act really, really quickly. The reason why we also noted down the amount of keywords we are ranking is because once we knew that we are ranked for 5 keywords, then we would go for long tail keywords. So this is just, the reason why I'm saying this is to make sure to note things down, to keep a track of things. It's just good to have history. And the last one, I'll show you. Okay. This is another spreadsheet about ads. Okay. So at the top, like I said, the numbers aren't crazy. The colors actually mean that we dropped. Green is we're growing, orange we're stable, red we're dropping. So straight away you don't have to really analyze, but you can visually see what's going on. And we would actually go step by step with all the products below and try to find a reason what's wrong. And then we can act on that. As you can see, this is some of the reasons we actually knew why we were dropping in sales. So I think that's probably it. I mean, I could go on and on about reports, but I think this the main objective of my presentation was just mentioning, just do basics, write it down. It's quite obvious. But we made the mistake of not writing it down for a year, and this is done. It turned out that we saved some sales because we just could react fast enough and we knew why things happened. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Thank
very
you.
good. You had a question.
style in your hands? Right.
Yes,
When you say you download the reports, what format is it downloaded?
CSV.
CSV, and so then you compile these, one of your team members compiles.
I do that, yeah.
How long does it take you?
It's easy, so it's like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in terms of reviews and sales, I have to double check, I think you can get that data by stats.
You can. I think this is a good fundamental lesson. So, for any other questions, because there's a lot of places to get data. But Jet, go ahead.
Just a couple of points. So when you're checking the ranking, careful because different browsers.
Yeah.
And sometimes they play with the algorithm. So location sometimes I've seen come up as well. Even using the private browsers.
You're saying the browser is showing you a different BSR for the item?
Yeah, and even when I've seen testing running on the phone versus desktop as well.
But they said they're also going to move to behavioural, aren't they? So in terms of, in terms of cookies and what have you, they'll literally be showing you. So if you're a premium purchaser, then eventually they'll be sophisticated enough just to show you what you really want to see in terms of being able to make that decision and click that button quicker. It'll come. It's just a matter of when.
That's definitely coming, but I'm just surprised that the BSR, which seems like a literal ranking.
Oh, the keyword ranking.
Oh, we're talking about keywords.
Keyword
Oh,
ranking.
Yeah, but that happens also geography. The FBA warehouse nearest that person is going to get, if you stock it in California or New York, and the guys in New York, whoever's selling it in New York is going to get a better ranking on their keyword position. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's even geo-focused. So, any other questions, real quick, for Martina? Yeah, Paul.
You said your keyword ranking was
Yeah.
on sales. Is the same with your sessions? If the sessions increase with your keyword ranking?
They do also, yes, they do increase, but actually with sessions, that's another thing we came across with the results, that with the unique number of users, okay, I don't really know how to answer that question.
Because I've seen the same non-users when I do sessions as well. So it's basically as well, yeah, I can't be exact.
Are you asking if conversion is impacted?
Is that because I mean, if some folks are on page 20 are still getting 50 sessions, they're on page 1, also still getting 50 sessions.
No, so actually if we're on the first page, we get much more sessions, and you can see the correlation that the sessions drop when you lose your ranking position too.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
Yeah, are you also tracking anything to do with the click-through rate as well? Because we found that has...
Yes, yeah, also, yeah.
All right, any other finals?
Just a point on, so one star review, so correlation I typically see is 48 hours to 72 hours, a drop to about 70%, so 30% drop. After that, it drops by about 80% of your sales are gone.
Yeah.
If you haven't moved that one star after about 3 or 4 days.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's devastating to get those, especially a few 1-stars in a row, which are often attacked by by competitors, by the way. That's a whole new thing. Okay, so let's give it up for Martina again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chat.